Hello, everybody, and what is up? Welcome back to Casters on the Block. I'm Ritual, joined by the fantastic Gerd and the Waffle Man.
Yes.
How's it going, guys?
The Waffle Man. That's why it's the D and not a Waffle Man. You know.
Well, actually, aren't you the Crepe Man now?
No. If I move to Canada, I will be.
Oh, jeez.
I'm not currently in Canada. The Crepe Man is an old joke, by the way. I came up
know.
with that in 2019. You know?
Yeah, you've told me about it before.
I told you about the Crepe Man.
Bro, we talk.
Hilarious.
So for those of you on the podcast,
The funny part is about me telling you is because I forgot until I was like looking at my alts on Pokemon Showdown, and I was like, "Oh, the Crepe Man, that's fucking hilarious."
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, I guess this is a good opportunity for a little bit of story time because Snivy is not here, unfortunately.
Biggest flaker.
Came down sick. Reed, we
Yes.
don't need a lie. Reed, we're gonna get a lie to the people enough at Mash Harder, which we'll talk
Yes.
about a little bit later. But so yeah, no, I guess this is, we can. I mean, it's the three of us. Should we tell the story of how we all met? I guess I can start because
Again?
it starts with, I'll start because so Reed and I met first. Of the four people on this podcast, we were the
Yes.
first two.
My first name is Reed, by the way.
Yeah.
Hi,
Just
Reed.
be prepa-
It's
Hi.
the waffle. It's the Waffle Man, also known as Reed. Or Waffle or Tweak or Reed, Gavin or Tweak moment. Anyways,
I hate that intro. I hate it so much. I think it's
okay,
so
we're not
cringe.
gonna
I think
roast
it's so
that
cringe.
podcast right now. But what I am trying to say, story time, is that I went to my first local, and had wanted to try casting, wanted to play, and it was my first local like really since COVID, and had a blast doing it. And was like, I'll come back occasionally. I was in a car accident and broke my wrist in 3 places. It happens. And so I was like, what do I do? I'm coming home from work. I'm staring at the ceiling. It's awful. So I tried to find a ride. My friends said no. My parents said no. I, again, had a broken wrist, so I couldn't drive. And so I DM'd the TO of Vortex, not Ajax, but Chavo. And said, hey, do you know anyone who's coming from this area? And Chavo said, no, but if you make a tweet, I'll retweet it. And I had like 20 Twitter followers at the time. So I said, sure. And I got a DM from Waffle, who I had known since we cast before, or together.
The best set, total synergy, like first time ever, like.
It was
ever.
pretty good.
It was so.
It was
good.
pretty good.
You should go back and watch it. If somebody could actually find it, because I don't even know what the set is.
I have
You
it.
have it? No,
Yeah, I have all my sets.
I want to
in
see
a
if somebody
playlist.
can find it uniquely though, because that'd be really funny.
Yeah.
If they dig through all the.
I'll give y'all a hint. Yeah, it's a Vortex Legends on VG Boot Camp, and
I
it's
think
not
it's-
the first Vortex Legends.
It's either.
I
2
know
or
which
3.
number it is.
I think it's.
I know.
2.
You're
I think
correct.
it's 2. Yes.
Anyways, we made it easy
Let's
for
go.
him. But yeah, no. So basically, Reed drove me everywhere for 3 months. Thank you, by the way.
No
Means
problem.
the world to me. Wouldn't be here without you. And we just, became really good friends because when you spend, all night casting together and hanging out, and then also driving half an hour there and back.
And talking Smash.
Yeah, right. You get a lot of synergy, but I guess I can throw it. Waffle, you want to take it from here about then how because it was kind of your initiation that brought us to Gerd.
Yes. So, somebody had just like retweeted Gerd's tweet, like RNH7 is this week, and then it was like caster application like link, and I was like, oh, that's in Massachusetts. I'm close to that location.
Close. Close.
I just sent it to her, and I was like, yo, do you want to do this? Do you want to apply to this? I was like, and then like 2 seconds later, because like I was like impulsively sending it, I was like. I like looked at where it was, and I was like, it was like farther than I thought it would be, and I was like, well, I don't know if I want to do it anymore.
And my response was, and I quote, "Too late. I already applied." I worked this summer as a school teacher, which is what I want to go into professionally, right? Like that's what I'm working towards getting. I've applied to grad schools for, etc. And I had just finished my lunch break, and I dead ass when you sent it to there, like our lunch break had just ended. I had a class I was teaching. I dead ass got up, left the kids, and went to the bathroom to fill that app out.
Mm-hmm. That's funny.
I'm not gonna lie, and I wrote that. I probably shouldn't say. This is probably a little TMI, but it's funny, so I don't care. I'll embarrass myself for the content. I wrote that resume template or that cover letter that I sent into you, Gerd, and also the template. I made the template that then Waffle used as well. And then modified, I believe. I wrote that on the toilet
Okay.
because I had 5 minutes to get out of there and fill that app out. So I put it all together. And then you decided to hire us because we submitted a cover letter.
Real good.
Because resume good.
Yes.
Resume good.
Resume good.
It is pretty cool that our locals get streamed on a video game boot camp. That is pretty big. But
It absolutely is. Like it's really, you get so many opportunities from being on VGBC, and it's like to have that every week is insane.
Yeah, I think we had a lot of things going for us. The fact that we were casting together, so it was like you didn't have to find somebody to put us with. We had VG Bootcamp VODs, so it wasn't like we didn't have like nothing, like just because we didn't have a reel, which I created one last minute. Like even if we didn't have that, we at least had like some sort of, video. And then we had one more thing. And my brain pooped.
Do you want me? I think I know what it is.
Oh, I also did a marathon speed run, and that looks really good.
It does, but you're missing. I think the biggest single thing we had going for us.
There weren't a lot of people who applied.
Ajax.
Oh,
I mean, Waffle's right about that too.
Yeah, no, there wasn't a ton of people who applied, which is true. But also, I'm just gonna say, like, I think there are very few people, if any people, better to learn from as someone getting into casting than AJ.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm just gonna go out there and say it. And obviously, like, right, we're all New England here, and even Snivy, who's not, I know, holds AJ in very high regard because got some very transformative advice actually the week we met, that really helped Snivy's casting, as well. But like AJ, maybe we'll come on at some point, who knows? But we, was on the grind, right, for so long, for like 8 years, before he finally like broke through. And so, there are very, very few people in the scene who work harder than him, and there are very few people who like have been at every level of casting and really seen as much in as many different games as him. And so lot of really, really good insight there, especially because of just how much he always is looking to support his community.
Yeah,
I wish I
it's
had
funny.
someone like that.
You have me.
True.
Gerd, you've got this podcast.
So
what
it's
is he saying?
It's like how Jedi warriors work. Like somebody trains me, and then you become my Padawan, and then you will get a Padawan later in life, and it all becomes full circle.
Hold on, did you just say Jedi warriors?
Yes.
What is this? The Old Republic pre-rule of 2 Sith?
I love the Old Republic.
Or the Sorry, not even the Old Republic. The High Republic.
You're asking way too much of my Star Wars knowledge.
I am okay. Things I know more about than Smash. There's a weird list: the NFL, Star Wars, Skyrim.
You know more about the NFL than Smash.
Yeah. 2017, I could name any player I could name every player on the league and their position on the depth chart for the team they were on.
In 2017, can you do it now?
No, because I stopped following it as closely. But if you still ask me, like,
that's what I'm saying.
Okay, do you want me to tell you I can tell you my favorite player at every position from every 5 years of the league on every.
Let's not talk about it on a Smash podcast.
I know. I agree, but I'm saying I know a weird amount about the NFL.
That is crazy
for someone who doesn't care about football.
Yeah, but going back to what we were talking about, I think it's really funny that you were like, Ajax is like the biggest mentor ever, and like the only advice he's ever given to me is like, just listen to the person next to you. I didn't really ask him for much advice, but it was just like, he just like gave me the opportunity and was like, you're doing great, just listen to the person next to you and have fun.
He wrote me over 1,000 words when I went to school. he didn't tell me he was doing this. He just sent me a Twitter DM that had over 1,000 words of just like it just kept going when you kept scrolling of just like feedback, and it was really incredibly helpful, especially because at the time I had just gotten hired for Bay 101, and I was really nervous.
I remember that.
It was a huge I think opportunity, because then that block was really up and down. Both Momo and I were very new at the time. Momo
Really?
jokes that the block isn't canon. Momo had been doing it a little longer than me, but yeah. If you, Gerd, I'll send you I can find the VODs. I'll probably only send you a couple, because it was a double block, but all of Wave A pools, the audio like is broken, and
So it wasn't a mixture of your commentary being iffy?
It was not great.
So it was
commentary.
production.
It was better than Momo thinks it was.
Okay.
But it wasn't good, because we were both new. We'd never worked together before. We didn't really know what the other one was doing. We didn't talk about it. We didn't know who each other were, any of that. But, after that block, Lyric also came and sat down and VOD reviewed it with me and said, pick, your best set and your worst set, and we'll look through it. And we spent 2.5 hours on 2 sets. That was like 20 minutes of footage.
Dude,
I wish
2.5
I had
hours.
top-level commentary people to talk to me about that
Slide
kind of stuff.
into your DMs, or into their DMs. That is the best way.
So just has...
Scabs, unironically, Gerd, I know Fabs is always down to do it, and I know Scabs is always down to do it.
Yeah,
at
but I don't
bare
have a
minimum.
connection to them. I'm not just going to reach out and say,
No, but
hi, I'm a random caster from Massachusetts.
Okay, Scabs gave up his double down blocks to get new casters on. He would want to support you. Also, so you run GamerCon. He knows who you are. You forget that. Like, people know GamerCon.
Yeah.
And they know who the TO is.
Do they, though?
And you are also a caster. Yes.
I don't know. It's hard
I
for
have
me to
mentioned
tell.
you to people
It's
who've
hard for me
never
to
been
tell
to a
as
New
a
England event.
perspective as a TO to know how many people know who I am.
Gerd, I have deadass talked about this podcast to someone and said, yeah, I'm doing a podcast with Snivy and Waffle and Gerd. And they've never been to a New England event. The only person they didn't know was Waffle.
Huh.
That's crazy.
And that's
No,
the
that
worst
makes
person to
sense.
not.
That
That's the
makes
worst
sense.
person to not know, because Waffle is goated.
No, it makes sense. I'm
There's
deep cut. I want to be deep cut. I want people to be like, the most underrated commentator is
Yeah.
Waffle.
No, I agree. I agree. That's like the vibe that we
I
both
love
have.
that vibe. Like,
There's also Snivy's not here to back me up on being on the grind, though.
yeah.
I mean, we're
but at
both.
least-
I'm on the grind. Waffle's like kind of on the grind, but he's just kind of
I'm
chilling.
not on the grind.
Aw.
I want to go to CT GamerCon and then your VGC event and then dip for like a little bit
Yeah.
because I need
Bro.
to make money.
I'm gonna come home from college and you're gonna be gone.
Yeah, probably.
And
No
then I'm
worries.
gonna
You'll have
move
me.
away.
You'll have
I don't
me if
have
I ever go to a
Tuesdays off
Vortex.
anyways. I'll probably still go to Vortex Legends locals and the VGC
Good.
locals. You have to come to the VGC locals because
Yeah, I will drag you to stuff, Reed. But
no, like I actually want to work a lot because things are expensive, and I want to buy a futon. I want to buy a futon so people can sleep over.
True.
So
True.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, we've been, it's been a fantastic journey, and I'm really thankful to know both y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna say it's funny because we're talking about like Reed not being on the grind and not whatever, and people not knowing who he is. But it's also really funny to me because I know like when Snivy and I and Reed are all on the same place, Snivy and I fight. Oh, the aspect ratio just fixed. I saw Gerd's face. It happened for him too.
Yeah.
Ooh, for us on the preview for us was all really small, and now it just fixed itself randomly.
I just hate this. So much.
But when Snivy and I are in the same place with Waffle, we have good natured. They're not like angry arguments, but we've had debates over who's gonna get the block with Waffle, and I know Gerd's the same way. Like Gerd's like, I want to block with Waffle. Like we all love casting with you, sir. You are, I think, universally
Except
everyone's favorite person
I'm the
on
only
this
one who
podcast.
hasn't actually had a block with Waffle yet. I just
That's
want to
why
have a
I'm
block with Waffle because I need to have my first one.
That's why
Wait,
I put
you haven't had a block with any of us.
True.
Yeah. L plus ratio.
I wonder why that is.
L plus ratio.
It's because you keep hiring us.
Exactly. For those that don't know, I run all the events that have good commentary minus Mash Harder.
And that's why I wanted to commentate with you at Mash Harder, but it didn't happen. So.
I say, sir.
I cry.
You should.
Are you bringing the sword to Mash Harder tomorrow?
Should I?
I don't know.
think that would go over particularly well.
It'd be so cool. I mean, they have a giant ass Batman behind, but
that is funny. You can put the sword in Batman's hand.
Yeah.
This is an actual sword though. Like this is real steel.
Oh.
So I probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
I have one that's not that I could bring.
Do you have a license for that? I'm snitching.
Do you need a license for a sword in the state of Massachusetts?
No, it's actually just illegal because in most states it's illegal to. Swords are actually classified under the same laws as knives, and it's illegal to have a blade over. Most states it's 4.5 inches, except in Texas where there's not.
That's
it's fucking Texas,
that's
of course.
Wait, so
my roommate, my freshman year of college, had 3 hatchets and a 7-inch Bowie knife under her bed, and I thought I was gonna die. I thought I was gonna get murdered in my sleep.
My question is, you can't get a license for that?
No.
But you can get a license for a gun.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah. Fuck it. Yeah. Before we get into that,
we can move on.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So before we get into that, there's like an event that I was gonna try and recap a little bit. From last weekend, but Snivy's not here.
Oh, Eon?
So I'll just mention.
We forgot about
that was a couple weeks
mid-off.
ago. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh, I forgot about mid-off.
Yeah, the mid-off happened. It was Momo. We mentioned him before. Was originally maybe gonna come on today, but just wasn't able to make it. Unfortunately, was busy. Because Momo is casting Xanadu Homecoming tomorrow.
Right. Oh, so he's probably like driving down.
Y'all should pull up a dual stream because we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, Momo is actually driving down right now. That's exactly what's happening. But Momo's a caster actually from Jersey. He's not actually from Philadelphia.
Really?
He's just honorary Philadelphia because he lives so close. Huh. Yeah, that's a secret. Don't tell anybody. I say on a podcast. But he put on this event with the people at the Bears venue for charity for Palestinian relief efforts. And raised over $700. It was an awesome tournament. WebJP won playing solo Sheik over Syrup and Yoda Cage and
Yoshio?
Peanut and Yoshio. Exactly. Yeah, there was a lot of unfortunately some of the players who were going, like Jackal, had to drop due to just scheduling conflicts. Because Level Up Expo still ended up happening, but.
And there was also the Encore Monthly nearby, too. Well, nearby.
I was going to say that's pretty far away. But
okay.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, Encore is a lot closer to Connecticut.
There's a lot of Connecticut there.
But, yeah, that's kind of what was up. It was a fantastic event, and I'm very thankful for them having me out. Y'all should check it out, VODs on VG Bootcamp. But speaking of events, obviously Xanadu Homecomings this weekend. Originally, Anathema was supposed to be there. He had to drop due to a personal issue. Still a very stacked event. Y'all should check that out on VG Bootcamp. But there's another event happening that I think 1 or 2 of us are going to be at.
Or 3.
Damn, we should just have a live episode.
So, yes. Does anyone want to reveal? Because I don't know what it is. I'm being kidnapped and put into a random place to commentate. So I don't know what's going on this weekend.
See, this is why I always talk about how I get, I'm literally trapped places. I don't know what events I'm going to. I just go to bed and I wake up and it's like Skyrim. It's like Astrid standing over me and pulls the bag off my head and I have to decide which co-caster to kill.
You're going to kill me?
If I said yes or no, I feel like I'd have to be lying to the people either way, and that puts me in a paradox. Anyways, but yeah, Gerd, you're from Massachusetts. Do you want to tell us about the event?
Sure. So
I've been talking a lot.
So the podcast is being recorded on February 24th at around noon. And tomorrow, exactly 24 hours from about now, Mash Harder 5, which is Massachusetts' and technically New England's like giant regional with over 100 people at the Balance Patch
Yes,
Cafe
sir.
in Boston, Mass. It's a great time. It's the 5th iteration of Mash Harder because it runs 3 times a year. That is not a secret. That has been told to me by Cass and Groove and whoever else has been the BSB TOs at that point. But primarily Cass and Groove. They say they want to always run it 3 times a year, one during the spring academic season, one during the summer, and then one during the fall academic season. So this is the first Mash Harder of the year of 3, potentially.
And the reason for that is, as Gerd kind of you alluded to, I actually also have talked to Cass about this, and they were nice enough to explain why. Is that a lot of Boston scene, right, is really dependent on the college scene, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of college-age people, high school-age people, people who either are there for school or go away for school and then come back. So making sure that you have to make sure with those events in areas like that you're not, say, putting on your big monthly or your big regional during finals or during spring break when you're not going to pull numbers. But Gerd, there is one regional in New England that's bigger than Mash Harder, I think.
We can get to that later.
Yeah,
I was
we'll
gonna
talk
say,
about
we
that.
talked
in
about-
Mash Harder
we
is a
talked
little
about
bit
it
more
lot last
important.
week, too.
Mash Harder is a little
True.
bit more important. I can't think past like Tuesday because I have an exam that I'm worried about.
I can't think past tomorrow because
I was
True.
gonna say,
I just
So do
want
we-
it to go
True.
so well.
But
do we wanna,
Mash Harder. The commentator
Besides
graphic is officially out. I mean, we've known. So Waffle is on
Yo,
it. I'm on it.
Do you wanna
Ritual's on
put
it.
Do you want to put it on the stream?
Sure, I will put
Just-
that
just
on the
blink
screen
it.
somewhere. I'm gonna put it over
Whoa.
Snively's face.
You
and
have-
now it's on my face. Oh.
Yeah, but yeah. So it's
Oh, geez, it just jumped
So
over to
I don't-
Steve.
No, it didn't. It didn't do that.
It jumped
didn't-
over to Steve.
Nope. Can't control too
Reed,
much. I only.
Reed, you're
I
lying to
only
the people.
wanted. I only
lying
wanted
to
to
the
make 2
people.
changes. Trust me. I do
One
not
of us
wanna
is
edit.
lying.
I
One
have
of
to
us
do
is
it.
lying to.
I have to edit 12 a.m. today. Please, I have a tournament tomorrow. Please.
Reed,
Please
one of us
do
is
not give me
lying-
more work.
I'm not. One of us is lying to the people, and y'all have to watch the episode to find out which one.
What do you mean? Watch the episode. They're watching. It happened in the past.
and continuing
didn't.
off of that.
It's the future for us.
This is why we promo it on Twitter, and we're just arguing over everything. And it's a really funny Twitter clip. We need to farm our Twitter clips, by the way. I was thinking about this,
True.
but we could talk about that after Mash Harder because Mash Harder is coming on. There's 110 entrants. We got 6 a.m. and Tony PJs. I don't care about anybody else. That's first and second of the tournament because let's go Connecticult. Woo 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 woo.
Yeah,
woo,
no.
Connecticut.
Tyler's gonna get second, and probably Sharp's gonna win. That's my
So
bet.
what's interesting here is that, first of all, do you know who else is in attendance though?
You.
Oh,
A King K. Rool from New England. Yeah, it's Brujo.
yeah.
I ruined it.
Brujo
would-
will
Brujo's
probably get top
should
12.
get top
If
8.
not, he's gonna
Brujo
like.
is-
No, I don't think so.
It, no,
I
it
also
literally depends. He's just too he's too fluctuating. He could literally get 33rd or he could get 5th. That's what I think it is.
I thought he was seated high, but then seating was weird because conflicts. So it's hard.
But I will also say, Brujo at large events this year has done maybe the best of anybody in New England. Other than like Light and Mars and like Axiom and Sharp, right?
It's Excel.
Like Brujo
At
what?
big events, but he can be
Sorry. Yeah, well, I'm saying he made it out of pools and then also beat G Extreme out of pools at Let's Make Big Moves. And then the only other thing really that he went to in between that and Mash Harder was Reach New Heights, which
And
he won.
Like, he also went to Smash
Oh.
the Line, didn't he?
He went. Oh yeah, he did.
he
true.
did.
And
Oh,
didn't he do
I'm
bad
forgetting.
there?
I'm lying to the people.
Yes, he lost.
just-
He
yes,
he
he did.
lost really early because they did best of 5s.
But anyways,
This is what
I'm-
you get for spending too much time in New York. You just don't know your New England lore as well.
That's-
True.
I don't. It's not my fault. I go to school here.
It kind of is.
No,
But
it
yeah.
not I
Don't-
transferred during COVID.
Brujo won Reach New Heights 5. He kind of busted at STL. He
Reach
did
New Heights 5. That's
9.
wild.
9. I don't know why I had 5 on my brain. 5
Yeah.
was a year ago. 9 was this past January. He
And-
won Reach New Heights 9. He busted at
over
STL.
Pelka, who's been a
and-
top Smash player longer than he's been alive.
Yeah, and then
my favorite fact.
he got 3rd at Granite State Grind, but he was seated there. He was seated for
Yeah.
3rd.
So this event is kind of crazy stacked. I didn't know. I have the bracket pulled up. I thought it would be cool to talk about who's seeded to make it out of pools and predictions. Obviously, like we're all casting the event. I think
that.
we can say our blocks, right? Waffle and
Yeah.
I are doing Wave B pools, and Gerd is doing top 12. Shout out.
Top 12 with
Uh,
Winters.
Yeah, and then AG, not Ajax, AG and Hazmat are doing top 4,
6.
top 6, top 6.
Yes.
So it's and then Wave A pools is that's Dubs, and Wave A is Justin and Connie, right?
No.
Oh no, Justin's doubles.
So top 6 of Dubs
I'm-
is. Wait, hold on. I'm pulling
I'm just
it up
gonna
the thing right
flash
now.
the commentator thing because they're all there.
Yeah, so
and they're
it's
gonna be on
Winters
at
and
some
Q,
point.
Winters and Q in top 6 of Dubs. Then it's Wave A, only is Justin and Connie because doubles always overflows into Wave A, so it'll probably be
Yeah.
Justin and Connie finishing up whatever.
Waffle and
left
I
is
know
Wave A.
nothing about that.
Yeah, tell me
That's
about.
funny. We got 3 sets at the last
Yeah.
match party. We crushed all 3.
Yeah,
all
now you'll
three
get
were-
4.
All 3 are bangers.
Now you get
Gerd,
4.
next year we'll get 5. We'll just be one behind Mash Harder.
Or you and I can just be the ones in top 12.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, stop picking favorites between.
Yeah.
Transformers. This isn't
But yeah,
over.
then it's Wave B is Doug and Calvin, and then we have you and Waffle. Then it's obviously finishing off with me and Winters, and then Has an AG.
Yeah,
So
which
it's
is
a
gonna be
stacked
fire
lineup.
block.
It's very
Has,
heavy
Has an
on the top.
AG. Has an AG is not something you see a ton recently. Just because AG doesn't get out to a bunch of stuff and has been doing less New England stuff. But their energy they're both such unique casters in the way they talk about the game. It's a very much like, it feels like two dudes watching a sports game,
That's just
and in the best possible way.
that's
I
an
don't
interesting
think I've
way to
ever
think
seen
about
that combo ever, so I
Really?
can't.
It's
comment.
it's really good. I like it a lot. It's very unique. But do we want to talk about bracket predictions? Thoughts?
I want
on
to talk
that?
about Wave D pools because that's who we're commentating.
Yeah, who do you
And
have?
I was really happy to see 6 a.m. in our pools. I would just like to say they're sleeping on my kid. They're sleeping on him. Why is
Mass
he
Teo
seated so
bias.
low?
Mass
Why is he
Teo
been-
bias.
because he took a long break and hasn't been doing as well.
He's been
just
doing
starting.
well since he came back.
I was gonna say no. He started doing not well, and then he's recently started doing well again.
He's been back for like a month.
I
and a half,
know,
and he's been doing
but
great.
yeah, but right, his long break too also plays into that. Is what I'm trying to say. And then the first couple tournaments back, like
That
I
should
understand the seating. I
Nah,
understand
he's
it.
fine
that
where
should
he's at.
not be how you see it.
I think. Sorry.
I think it's
What's he
crazy
seated?
he's not seated into top 16.
also
He's
if
20th
you like,
seed. He's fine.
If you like 6 a.m.
No,
if
I
you
don't
like
know.
if I may, if you like 6 a.m., there's a fantastic video. Maybe we'll link it in the description if I can find it and send it to Reed. That basically was like a whole mini feature on 6 because he's an Incineroar player who is very friendly, wears this big giant clock, taunts in real life. Again, one of the nicest people you'll meet in the scene. And there might also be a Smash mod that's just him over Incineroar coming soon. But we're not gonna talk more about that.
I wonder what that is.
Anyways,
Wait, can I just say my piece on 6 a.m. as
shoot.
a miserable, biased Connecticut person? Even though I disagree with the single seating, the double seating is terrible. Him and Fume are a really good team, and they're seated 8th. That's crazy.
Below
they,
who?
They also got.
Who are they seated below?
They're seated below a lot of people.
Yeah, name someone. Name someone.
Okay, I need to get up the bracket. Give me 1 second.
Are they seated below Hot, and Laser? No shot.
They are seated.
No, they're 9th seed. Never mind. Oh, yeah,
They're-
that makes sense. Oh, wait, then who's... Oh, wait, where's 7?
They're seated 8th. They're seated under the likes of Just Blue and oh no, they're good. Like CBK
Wait.
and Brevity
Oh,
are
it's
are
Cyro
seated
and
above
Nuggets
them.
7th seed.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's carried by Nuggets. So that kind of
So,
makes sense.
Don't get me
But that's
wrong,
also
but
weird.
like 6 a.m. and Fume have done like really good at like regional events and like majors.
So
Like Fumin 6 a.m. I think got
Mhm.
like top 32 at LMBM or something.
No, they're very good at doubles.
They're
They were
very
also
good.
up till they were up till no joke here, 6 a.m. every morning at LMBM grinding dubs money matches. They
Yeah.
love that format.
Like if they upset Sharp and whoever, I wouldn't be surprised. Like Sharp and Pelka, I would not be surprised at all.
Yeah, but also Sharp and Pelka
They're too good.
is a terrifying team. Like that's just a fun
No,
piece
they're
of
really good.
difference.
I'm not saying that they will upset
That
them, but I
being
wouldn't be surprised
said-
if that's close.
Pelka at
I
New
would be
England events
surprised.
recently has been not the most consistent.
Yeah, Snake is bad. Hee.
Okay, if you, I'm gonna move on from that right now because if
You
we get
almost
into
got
that,
baited. You
I will
almost
be.
got baited.
No, I'm restraining
Admit it.
myself because I'm just gonna
Admit it.
say, Reed, I literally was talking to Kronos' coach yesterday, and we're gonna put together him, Apollo Kage's
You
coach,
act
and
like
myself.
you act like
The-
I know who Kronos is.
He literally almost got into Summit, and he's been putting up absurd results recently. He beat Meister. He
Okay.
3-0'd
LMBM,
Snake Game and
right.
watched at LMBM. That was a big deal. Everyone
have
was
s-
talking about that.
See, the thing is I have too many interests, and
Yeah,
you know they get
Reed,
all.
you're a fake
mushed.
fan.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
Yeah, you're right
but,
about that. That's a
um,
great assumption.
so
You are cutting
yep,
out.
I know. I don't know why. This is a new thing for me.
Internet.
We
Ugh.
love the interwebs.
I
but-
don't.
So, what? Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about singles, to try and keep us moving on because we do have, we are about halfway through this podcast at this point. And I have currently the people seeded for top 12 right now, and I think an interesting name to watch, being seeded that high. Also, Dolan's not seeded to make it top 12 or Ducat. Interesting, but
Yeah, that makes sense.
but I
Wait,
think
Dolan and who?
Ducat, Ducat.
Duset.
Thank you, Ducat. I'm bad at names. Okay, you know this.
Yeah, and you say Axiom instead of XL.
wait, you know who's in Wave BP pools that I want to talk about before we get into top 12?
Okay.
Benoit McDonald
Oh
Blank.
my
My goat.
Christ.
The best tag in New England.
I don't know. Mother Hacker's tag is pretty great too.
Is Mother
No,
Hacker
not as good.
No, but I just like his tag.
Oh.
Also, Sailor Jess and 6 a.m. have great
Mm.
tags. But
6 a.m. 6 a.m.'s tag's not that good, but his whole shtick makes it better.
I think 6 a.m.'s tag's great. I really enjoy it.
It's great,
They
but if he didn't have the
complement
clock,
each
it would be mid.
Hey, Waffle.
What?
It's great.
It's great.
If you don't know, 6 a.m. says
You don't
great.
you don't have to, they don't need to be informed. They should just know.
They should just know.
They should just
But
know.
now they do. But yeah. So this is a really cool group of top 12 seeds. I guess I'm gonna start at the bottom and then work my way up. So at number 12 is Exiled. Is Corey, who is a Bowser, right? Just still solo Bowser. Gerd,
He'll
or does
pop
he
out a
play
Sheik
Sora?
every now and again, but
Okay.
you'll know him mostly for Bowser.
Yeah, player from New England, long-standing member of the New England PR.
There was also
and-
that one. Wait, I just wanted to say there was also that one set he went Min versus Just Blue, and it was the worst thing ever.
which actually,
Because Just Blue and Exile were supposed to play Isabel and Min respectively because they were beefing on Twitter about it. And one of them went their mains and the other one went their secondaries, and they swapped. And then they finally played their mains out, and then Just Blue won.
And so we never saw Min versus Isabel.
Yeah. Really dumb.
It was so annoying.
yeah, oh my god, that's iconic. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah. So Exiled is number 12, which I think that is a pretty solid seeding for Exiled. He's seeded to be he's seeded to lose to Luxa in pools in Wave B.
Yeah, I think that should happen.
Which I know both Waffle and I are pretty excited to cast Luxa again.
Great ag player. A very fun,
yeah.
always a fun time.
And very talented as well. Does things that like makes you think that character's actually good again. And then he's seeded to beat Mr. B into Ryan to make it out of pools, which I definitely think I think he wins those, but I also wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't.
Anywhere between like 16 and 12 can easily flex in and out of top 12.
And then
it's just so stacked.
Plus 6 a.m. since he didn't make top 16.
True. He's seeded to play Brujo, who's seated at number 11. Unfortunately, my pools bracket isn't loading, so I can't see who
Just show us top 12.
Who Brujo is seated.
I don't think it matters.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't see who Brujo is seated to
See, I don't.
play, but
when Match Order happens, like between my break of actually running Wave A pools and just chilling in Wave B, I'm literally just gonna be starting to take notes on everything.
That's so smart.
Because because I could look at projected. I'm like, I know this is not gonna how it shapes out. Probably top 4 seeds will probably make it through projected, but anywhere in losers, I'm not looking at shit.
yeah, no, I would agree. I think it's good if you have the time beforehand. What I generally always do is if I'm doing a top cut of a bracket, I will scout projected, and then at the event, as you said, I'll take notes.
Yeah,
and
I'm
make
only
notes
gonna
an
if
upset
I'm
happens or do
prepping.
research,
I'm
but-
prepping probably tonight for Tyler Sharp and Pelka Unleashed, and then I'll just pick off anything from losers.
You're spoiling the last 4 names.
Oh no!
But-
It's like
What
they
do you
can just
mean?
look at this
Brujo-
bracket.
I'm just gonna say,
they could have been had the bracket pulled up.
I'm
'cause
just
it's
gonna
it's
say,
in the description.
I think Brujo is underseeded.
I think he's
No.
overseeded.
I think he's seated just fine.
I
I
don't.
think I'm
I'm
think
gonna say
anywhere
I'm gonna
from-
say a hot take. I think he's I think it's fair to seed him under Just Blue or Yossi. I think you could argue those either way for a whole bunch of different reasons, but I think he should be seated over Tony.
Brujo?
No.
Nah.
I mean, it's
No
New
shot.
England. It's New
Nope.
England,
Nope.
so Tony does
Nope.
better in
Tony-
New England. But
Tony does really well at majors too.
Tony's more consistent
yes,
and doesn't
so
have
more
like a lower
consistent.
floor.
but he
Brujo
goes-
will just
he
get
goes
matchup
to
checked
less
a lot.
stuff and hasn't been doing as well as of recent.
But is Tony's version of hasn't been doing well still better than Brujo's peaks?
Tony just got second at the Encore Monthly, did he not?
He drowned in pools at Eon though.
I didn't even know that happened. First of all,
Yeah, he did.
I
He
didn't know.
lost. He
second
lost.
of all, Brujo's drowned in pools at Smash the Line, so those cancel out.
He
Yeah,
lost,
honestly,
he,
yeah.
He didn't. He lost to Jen.
And that was a best of 5
which
too.
is like losing to Jen in winners, right? Like that's not a bad loss at all. But then like in losers, he beat Pecco, which is a solid win. Pecco's a very good Diddy from Staten Island, but he also has historically struggled with like all of the Nesses. So, again, like
Cheeser win.
and then he lost to Gatsby, which is
Okay, but
Those are
Gatsby's good
those
though.
Are good losses.
Gatsby's
That's a
good, but
those are good losses.
Tony doesn't normally lose to Gatsby.
Okay,
But
but
your-
like
But
that's
your
fine.
bar for Tony is up here, and your bar for Brujo's down here.
Yeah, literally. Like,
like
this
Brujo
is
lost
not to discredit
Brujo lost
Brujo.
I also just like Brujo.
Yeah,
I'm
no, not to
biased.
discredit
Two
Brujo.
unranked
Obviously,
players at
his
Smash
shine,
Line.
his shine
I'll
wins
say
are
it.
like consistent, but that was more than 6 months ago. His RNH win, I will say, even though I'm the TO, was heavily influenced by previous upsets against Excel. So he didn't have to get matchup checked by Kazuya twice over.
That's
He
no, that's
kind of
very
drowned
fair.
at STL, like Waffle was saying, and he places seeded GSG. So he's good,
He's-
but is
he's
he better
just-
than
he's just-
Tony? Probably
He's
not.
just inconsistent. That's all it is.
Yeah.
He's,
Yep.
He at any tournament he could get 5th or he could get 33rd.
I'm
That's my take on Brujo, and I think if you seed him anywhere from like 14 to like 10, that's fine.
Okay, but where did Tony lose to Gatsby at Eon? Because you said he drowned.
It was either 3-2 or 4-2. So it wasn't bad, but it wasn't. He didn't really. He
Eon
didn't
was
have any
fucking
great wins to
stacked,
get
though.
there. Yeah, I know, but he didn't have any great wins to get there. Was the issue?
Okay.
That I,
That's fine.
It's probably like a
But-
33rd placement or something.
yeah,
I mean that happens. Like,
but also, yeah. The last thing I'll say about Brujo too, before and Tony, because we should probably keep it moving, right? Is just, I'm just gonna say, Brujo is 14 and doesn't really travel outside of Mass and like New Hampshire a little bit because they're basically the same region.
No, they're not.
No, I know they're not, but I'm saying there's a lot of crossover for their events between like players traveling.
It's like New Hampshire goes to Mass. Mass kind
Mass
of
doesn't
go
Mass
to
doesn't
New
return the
Hampshire.
favor.
Fair enough. People, I mean, every time I look at a New Hampshire event, I see Mass there, but that's another. I think
I know
it's more so as
lore,
of recent.
so-
I know you know more lore. Gerd's literally on the
Gerd is like,
on the New
you're
Hampshire.
not
Yeah, because I
familiar
was
with
a
my
former
game.
New Hampshire TO.
Don't
Yeah.
you also are on the New Hampshire PR
Yeah.
ballot?
Yes.
That's literally what I yeah. But I was gonna say I think Brujo unironically Brujo does more stuff that I've never seen from a K rule more consistently than anybody else.
What? Like what? Because I think I know how Brujo works.
I'm interested to hear your take. We could turn this into a Brujo episode.
Okay, I just want to say my piece on Brujo because I think
but,
what he does is really interesting because
he
a
doesn't
while
use
ago I
Nair.
heard-
He like uses Nair, the
He
threat
doesn't
of
use
Nair a
Nair.
lot more. Well, because he uses the threat of it rather than actually using it. It's really smart. Anyways.
Well, basically, I just think that the way he plays is like basically I'm going to be in your it like basically he switches from being he's like passive aggressive. He's basically switches from passive to aggressive very well, and when he chooses that, it's very hard. And then once he gets in, he puts you in a lot of like he like threatens a lot of positions very well. So he'll like jump at you, and then you have to make a decision, and then he'll just guess, and sometimes he'll get it wrong. And then sometimes he'll get it right, but if he gets it right, he usually gets a lot of payoff, and I think it's a really cool strategy with K roll because once you're aggressive, you can actually take a lot of trades, so you can end up picking the more aggressive option.
I was gonna say
more
he actually
times than-
plays really similarly to Zamba.
I don't know how Zamba plays.
He plays very similarly to Zamba. He also uses Brujo does a lot of times where he will jump at you as you said, and then use Crown to cover every aggressive option, so you have to back off. And does a lot of really cool frame trap stuff. I think if he travels more, right? This is an if, so I'm not saying this is the case. I want to clarify that. I'm saying I think he very much has the potential to be the best King K roll.
I feel like we put too much pressure on Brujo.
No,
I
it's
think we
not
should-
even a pressure
he
thing.
should
I
just-
think he's very talented. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like just let him vibe in Mass. Let him go
I
to
agree.
the tournaments he wants to go, and just see where it takes him.
No,
you
I
know?
agree. He's 14. Let him live his life.
I know. It's like, come on. Once he turns 18, then we're like, okay, now he's gonna be the best player ever. You know, like once he's an adult, we can put the pressure on him. But he's 14. Let him like live. You know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. But I guess like if you look at it that way, like maybe we put too much pressure on him, but like that will like probably make him a better player in the long run because that's like what happened to MK Leo and people like Mango who
And
were like
Spargo.
15 when they broke out. And Spargo, exactly. Like who were that young when they broke out,
And
then
Quinn
they had
and
to deal with all this
Zamba and-
pressure and all these haters online and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I also think it's just like let people play the game, you know, because like one bad performance and it's like that it just causes so much hate to fester, and I don't like that.
Okay. So what up next we've got above Tony is Just Blue, who also a very young player, mostly plays Steve, like that guy. And
Has a Wii Fit trainer too.
yes, as well as the Pocket Isabel that y'all mentioned. And very talented player, very fun D's, very very fun guy. Very excited to see that set if it goes as seeded, because Tony generally does pretty well against Steve, and I think Ness has good tools, but I also think Just Blue plays very differently than the other Steves I've seen Tony play. So, I'm interested to see that. Then you've got Yossi versus Nuggets are the next two seeds, right? That's a classic Massachusetts matchup.
I'm surprised Nuggets is seeded this low.
What's his seed
I'm
specifically?
His seed is he's seeded 7th, but he's seeded to lose to Luxa, which makes sense from a matchup perspective. But like from a placement perspective, I would expect Nuggets to get
Probably
a better
seeded.
placing
Probably conflicts.
than Luxa.
Probably
Yeah,
conflict.
probably.
So
I
a
mean-
lot of what has been happening is Luxa has either played Nuggets or Unleashed, but it's been heavily favored Luxa playing Unleashed, so they wanted to avoid that.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's fair. Yeah, I was
And-
gonna say.
Yeah, I
Move
mean,
on.
I was gonna say, I think, Yossi, for those of you who don't know, is a Ices player with a Sheik secondary. Does some very, very cool stuff with both characters. Is kind of a combo fiend. Nuggets, the exact opposite, despite being a Peach player, or no, a Daisy player, right?
It's the same thing. Same
Daisy.
character.
Yeah,
Daisy.
technically a slightly different.
I'm
hitbox,
pro
but,
Daisy erasure.
What?
Erase that character from the game. I hate it.
I would
miss-
say so, but because Nuggets
Okay.
plays her, I can't.
Yeah, but
That's fair.
so does Blank.
I just think Echo characters that have no differences just need to go.
I agree. But Nuggets is pretty much the antithesis of what you think of when you think of a Peach player. In that you think of Peach players playing very defensive, which he does, but he doesn't combo you.
Yes,
just
he does.
Nuggets.
Yes, he does.
I don't think I've ever seen Nuggets combo somebody.
You haven't watched. you've been
I've watched a
Bay
lot
State-
of Nuggets.
Bay State beatdown.
Well,
You
he
have
does it.
been
He does
watching.
it. He does it at locals, but he doesn't do it at like regionals and monthlies. Gerd, you
And
are.
we'll see if he brings him out. If
That
he
is
can, if
fair.
he can add that to his game.
What are we talking about? Sorry, I blanked out.
Ritual claims Nuggets does not combo people.
Okay, at least
does.
relative to any of the other top Peach
He's
players.
not Ling combo heavy, but he still can combo people.
Yeah, but I'm saying he doesn't do it to nearly the same degree as other Peach players.
No,
He
because
plays
he
a lot
beats people with
more-
back air.
Mm-hmm. Well, so does Ling, but
Yeah, but like Nuggets
different
back
way.
air is a
Mhm.
force.
he
It
also
is-
beats you. He also beats you with Turnip. Like Nuggets will just sit back, and if you aren't dealing with Turnip, will just camp you.
Mhm.
Like
It's a good
he
time.
He is maybe the campiest player in New England, which is crazy because there's another player we're talking about later who is also the other player in contention for that.
Wait,
then-
in New England, in all of New England.
yeah, I think
Oh,
I think we
I
have
want
the,
to think about that one.
um,
Keep going. Keep talking.
Then
I'll come back.
You've got Antimony is seeded to lose. Also a good Steve player.
And Kazuya.
And Kazuya. Man, that man just paid.
Yeah,
14.
and Paisley. I actually don't know which version Antimony plays. I think it's Peach though.
Yeah, it's Antimony Peach.
Okay.
It says so in the Twitter. It's the Twitter
Right,
handle.
right, yeah.
It is seeded to play Luxa, who Luxa recently has, like in the last couple months, he took a break from competing, came back, and, tore up Vortex Legacy number 2. Like, destroyed everybody in that bracket.
Don't talk about that. Don't talk about that.
But
It didn't destroy everyone.
he destroyed a lot of people.
He destroyed a lot of people.
Also,
but
he plays Ike.
he went. Yes, like if Don, like he went very close with Don in one set. He actually lost to Don and then ended up beating him later.
Mhm.
But like if Don had just won that game 5, like it would have been a completely.
Oh,
different
I
story.
think Don wins the
He-
tournament if he won that game 5.
Oh no, he doesn't beat Beast in the run back. I think if he beats Beast, he wins. But I don't think he. Don in losers is not the same as Don in winners. Don in winners is much better than Don in losers.
I agree.
So.
But then that brings us through the people seeded to make it out of pools on loser's side. On winner's side, this brings us to winner semis. You've got Unleashed, very talented Sora.
Yes.
And
Second best,
also
I think best Sora
Song?
NA and
No.
second best Sora in the world.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that was I forgot what the Twitter account is, but like Bernard
Mhm.
Loop, is that the person that makes all the character
Yes.
specific like lists?
Bernard Loop.
So
yep.
I think the
Yeah.
only person
He does
above
Orion rank.
Yeah, I think the only person above Unleashed is Kameme by like a
Mhm.
wide margin, but then it's like Unleashed is the best Sora in Massachusetts. Not Massachusetts. In all of NA.
North America.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like-
I think there's an argument to be made there. I agree.
There is no argument.
There is no
It's the
argument.
It's just facts. It's facts.
And then, Unleashed is seeded to lose, which I agree based on the matchup to Pelka, who is the other player that I alluded to earlier in terms of campiness.
That's going to be such a
Um,
boring. It's going to be a good match, but it's going to be so slow paced.
It's so interesting. I think Sora Snake is a super interesting. I mean, I'm biased. I play Snake.
You're commentating that set, right, Gerd?
Yeah. Projected.
Yeah.
Projected.
Are you excited?
It's going to be long. It's going to be a long set
Um,
because both
You don't
players
sound
are
excited.
willing to camp. hard.
So,
Yes, but Sora doesn't have good tools to consistently camp Snake.
Yeah, but
You
Unleashed
can
will
dash attack
camp
through
regardless.
Thundaga. I know, but you can dash attack. That matchup is like, unironically, I think one of Sora's worst matchups. It's really hard. It's really, really bad.
I feel like you say that about Snake in a lot of
No,
matchups.
I don't. Actually, as many as you think. I think a lot of his matchups are even. Like he really only has like 2 or 3 losing matchups. Like most of them are even. He also only has like 11 or 12 winning matchups. Like most of Snake's matchups are even. But that's broken.
Interesting.
Like the only characters he loses to are Min Min right now. There is theory that says that matchup could be even, but it's really hard to implement consistently. And then Mega Man. But yeah, Pelka actually recently has started to do something I never thought I would see out of him. For context, for people who are unaware of Pelka, he's been a top Snake player since Brawl. He maybe has more, unlike MVD, who stopped playing Brawl. Pelka never did. Still is a top Brawl player as well. Might have more hours in Snake than anyone else in the world. And has always played this very relatively fundamental, very defensive, is willing to circle camp you playstyle. But recently has started to really, like, switch it up and, like, play with a lot more playstyle diversity and a lot more non-linear play theory. And there's actually a 20-page essay on linear versus non-linear Snake theory, so I'm not going to get into that. But
Oh my god, please don't.
I won't. And then the top 2 seeds for there, not notably not the number 2 seed, Pelka being the number 2 seed, right? But the other half is Tyler versus Nido Sharp.
This is gonna be crazy.
I'm very excited
That
for this
has
one. Can I
been-
talk about this one? Can I talk
Yeah,
about
I was
this
gonna say
one?
that's been multiple RNH grants, but yeah.
It's RNH 7 grands. It was RNH 7 so there's 3. There's the RNH 7 Squad Strike Grand Finals, which went to Game 10.
Yeah.
Oh
and
my God.
Made bracket start like an hour late.
So
Not
no,
really. It just
it went.
I was gonna start
went-
late anyway, but it came to a point where I had to start anyway while they were still playing.
So the only reason it went game 10 is because Nido Sharp was using basically just like the worst characters in his toolkit for the first 2 games of the set. Decided to pick his 3 best for that game. Reverse 3-0's Tyler, and then they go game 5 again in the second bracket.
Great.
That
Yep.
was wild.
He did the same thing in doubles at Match Harder 4, which is why our block got cut short, and then he did the same thing again at Reach New Heights 8.
Nido Sharp
Or he
is just a
tried to,
hater.
but then his opponent SD'd in squads, and so he 3-1'd. But
That's fine.
He went Marth. But
yeah.
Nido Sharp just hates our commentary.
True.
It's-
No, Nido
yeah.
Sharp. That's not true. Sharp just really enjoys playing the game.
Yeah,
Like
Sharp.
Nope, he's just being a hater. It's all about me. I'm the center of the universe. Come on.
But yeah, other than that, Sharp and Tyler was a RNH 7 grand set. It was 3-1, I believe, in favor of
Yes.
Sharp. And then
Yes.
it was
They also
another.
played in winners finals, I believe, too.
I don't
on
remember
set.
that off the top of my head, but that does sound right. And then RNH 8 was also Sharp and Tyler. I also think that was 3-1. One of them might be 3-2, but I know both of them were grands. They're just good players. Sharp has had the upper edge,
Has Tyler ever beat him?
probably at some point in history, but recently no.
Um,
So it's going to be interesting to see. I think there's almost. I need to see the bracket path for Tyler because I'm pretty sure Tyler's the first seed in his pool, and so is Sharp in his pool, respectively.
Yes.
Like Tyler just needs to get past Just Blue, which shouldn't be that hard.
That said, it's also Steve, so
Just Blue is kind of been
Yeah,
pushing
but-
lately, though.
That's an upset if that happens, but I think Sharp's got it down. Sharp doesn't really have to worry about anyone, maybe Brujo, but Sharp should be able to wash Brujo, if I'm being honest. Unless like
Sure.
Dolan somehow pockets something from the depths and kills Sharp. Like in the before top 12 qualifier, that'll be interesting to see. But I think Naruto Sharp, Tyler, it's going to be an explosive match because Sharp, I can't even prep for that. unless like he tweets like he's gonna play X character, I can't know for certain who he's playing until the day of.
Exactly.
I'm just
And
gonna
same
say,
thing. Actually, Tyler's probably playing Aegis because he's trying. Or
I'm just gonna say I think Tyler's Aegis is worse than his Roy.
Yeah, but the thing is, Tyler plays Aegis to win brackets.
Mm-hmm.
He plays Roy to have fun, but he likes Aegis in brackets. That's what I've heard from Luxa.
I think we'll see a lot of both. I wouldn't be surprised. I think we're gonna see character counter picks in that set. I think we're gonna see. I wouldn't be surprised. I guess people are pretty familiar with Sharp at this point, right? Like I think nationally, you know, he has been, right? He has been on alt rank, right? He has been globally ranked, multiple times. So, I don't think he needs too much of an introduction. But I don't know that people are that familiar with Tyler.
If you're from New England, you know Tyler. But if you're outside of New England, you don't know Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler is the hidden boss of New England.
I think he's just one of the hidden bosses in NA, period. Like, I think he is one of the best players in at least the United States who does not travel.
It's hard to justify that because we actually just don't know how well he does. But he is going to Collision. That is the tournament to look out for. That is the tournament to look out for. If you want to see Tyler compete at an actual major, he is going to go to Collision in, which is crazy to think about, 3 weeks. No, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. CT GamerCon's in 3 weeks. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I don't know where Tyler is seated in respects to Collision, but it's going to be very interesting to watch all of his matches because I want to see if anyone's just like, who the fuck are you? And just get washed by any one of Joker, probably not going to be Joker, Palutena, Roy, or Aegis. It's going to be great.
I'm not expecting anything from Tyler at Collision.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, what's the
zero
last major
expectations.
that Tyler went to?
I have no idea.
It was
That's probably
years, like it was before his whole thing. I'm not going to get more into it, but...
So, I just don't want to put any expectation on it because, like, he could drown in pools, and that'd be perfectly fine for your first major.
Yeah, but, like, what's drowning in pools, though, for Tyler? Is that going 1-2 because he lost to matchup checks, or is that just barely making it outside of the top cut?
Like, I don't know, like, losing to, like, two goodish players, maybe winning, like, 4 or 5 sets.
His brackets aren't out for Collision. I did just check. I did just try and find out. He is rank 1 in New Hampshire, so he's not going to be seeded that low. That being said, it's
I'm pretty sure.
Major, so
I'm pretty sure. New Hampshire. I'm pretty sure Luxa has talked to Grayola on New Hampshire seeding to make sure that they don't play each other and actually give perspective on how good Tyler is in comparison to any PR, to give a comparison to outer regions.
And when we talk about Tyler being good too, like I know that I'm like one for hyperbole a lot because I think it's just an efficient way to communicate certain feelings, and I'm bad at efficiency sometimes, if you can't tell by how much I've been talking today. But Tyler plays faster than almost anybody I've ever seen. And the only person I've seen play Roy faster than Tyler is Cola when he's focused.
Salt 1.
Okay, Salt 1 formerly.
I hate that. Can we
Salt
talk?
1,
can we talk about
Cola,
Salt 1?
Salt 1, formerly Cola, formerly Salt 1.
Can I talk about that? Because why the heck is it not 2 words?
Because then it would be Salt 2.
Level up. No, okay, that's funny. But what's it called? I pulled up the bracket and I was like, who the fuck is Saltone? That's what I thought it was pronounced. Then I started watching the bracket and it was like, oh, they're saying Salt 1. That's so annoying.
Yeah.
I hate that so much. Terrible name. Go back to Cola. That's all people are ever gonna call you for the rest of the time. L+ ratio.
But yeah, like it's like Cola, and then like sometimes I'm forgetting a Roy. What other top Roy player am I forgetting? I'm not. He plays faster than Alice. He plays faster than Goblin. He plays faster than Mugen. I would say like I've seen Carflow play that fast, but Carflow, when he plays that fast, it also comes at the detriment, right? Like a lot of Roys, when they play super fast, they just kind of start
Are you just gonna talk about the Roy so
mashing
much just for
harder?
him to go Aegis?
Well, I think
You're
his
gonna
Roy's
talk-
better than his Aegis. I do.
But he's not gonna play it.
He'll play both. He
Just
plays
because,
both, even when he's trying to win.
Just because his Roy is better than his Aegis now doesn't mean he shouldn't go Aegis just because Aegis can't have the potential. to be
Ajax.
better
I
than
know
Roy.
Ajax agrees with me on this. We've talked about it for a long time. Roy's better than Aegis.
I don't care. I don't. They're both viable. It's just pick whoever you want.
No, I agree, and like power to you for that. But I think Tyler's Roy is really something very special. Like I unironically think it's just incredibly impressive to watch how fast he plays while still maintaining patience.
Yeah, and you are going to watch the Aegis this weekend, and you're going to have to mold so hard.
I won't
because you
mold.
wanna
I
watch
like
Roy.
watching good players. I think every character in this game is cool.
Yeah.
Do you know how
So,
hard it is going into a room meeting a bunch of top New York City players for the first time, and your first impression is some people asking you which hot take character you think is cool, and your response, because you didn't think about it first, was truthful, and it was Wii Fit, and they've all been losing to numbers for their entire career.
That's fun.
Damn, that's fucked up.
That's a good bit.
It was serious. I think Wii Fit's sick.
I think I saw something on Twitter that said like John Numbers plays better at locals.
Yep, I
than
saw
at, like,
that.
a major tournament, and I was like, "That's so true." So
But it's
true,
also because
bestie.
Numbers. Okay, people speculate a lot on why that is. It's because Numbers plays the player, not the matchup, right? Like he is very much.
I do not want to talk about John Numbers.
We're not gonna that much. He just plays the player super hard. So when he loses at majors, he gets upset when he plays people he hasn't played before. That's it. That's all I had to
Yeah,
say.
makes sense. Okay, cool.
But
How
much time?
I put a bunch of topics in the topic channel. I'm gonna rattle them out right now. Let's see if you guys can decipher it in the comment section. Should majors stream on Friday? I don't know. I saw a tweet about it. You can find it.
Like for singles?
No.
For in general, just have a stream.
Also, we are at over an hour.
Then yes.
So.
If it's for doubles or any other side event, then yes.
Well, but it would save them money if they didn't, and I'm all for the TO saving money.
Okay, but then they'd have to get rid of a side event.
Yeah, and that's fine.
That's a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a bad idea?
Yes, a lot of people go to. I don't want to go to a major that doesn't have a side event.
No,
They
I
could
agree.
just run. They could run the side event, not stream.
But
it.
people want the volume,
No,
right?
because then they still have to run it though.
Mm-hmm.
They still have to run it,
So you'd
regardless
say-
of streaming
so,
it.
So despite the fact that the TOs would save money, their event.
They would
event
lose
get
money because
less
people wouldn't be
attention.
going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'd get less attendance. And even though you're not paying production, like you also have to then pay production less, which means that production might not, certain production crews might say like, hey, you either need to pay us more for less time, right, to compensate for this loss in wages or whatnot. There's a whole bunch of factors that go into it. So I think they shouldn't stream singles. I think Apex was a disaster. I'll just come out and say it. Like I
Apex
won't pull punches.
lol.
Apex, I think Apex this year, in terms of its schedule, mad respect to Gimmer for wanting to try new schedules. Like, I respect it. But don't do it at a major, and don't do it in a way where the TOs, like, who were helping you put together said, hey, this isn't going to work. We could do something similar, but we need to change these things. And then you're like, no, I want to try my experiment full send. It's like, that stuff is like what you do at the Gimvitational, right? Which is awesome. Like Gimvitational, I thought was really cool in that it experimented with a bunch of stuff.
I disagree
You can't do it at the
entirely.
Invitational.
Yeah, because it's an
It's an
a
invitational.
completely different style of event.
Yes.
But
And it doesn't have 500 entrants.
well, no, I'm saying
like-
with Gimvitational, like that it experimented with a bunch of new stuff. I'm not necessarily saying bracket. Like,
yeah, but I'm saying you said like don't do it at a major.
Yeah.
The only time you could do it is
no,
at a major.
he could
So,
test out sections of
I
of those
agree.
schedule
No,
ideas
no,
at,
you
at
can't.
Xanadu's at Homecoming.
No. Because you need
that's-
it. You can't do it because you have to practice it at a major.
3-day event.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can't
Like-
experiment with like Friday pools at a local. It just doesn't. I mean, you
Yeah.
could do it, but that's at a local level, not at a major
Mhm.
level. So
No,
if you want to
absolutely.
do anything, you have to do it at an event. So like,
I agree with your point where it said like the TOs are like, this is a bad idea and you should listen to them. But to say that majors shouldn't experiment with new stuff
Well,
is a bad
No,
mentality to
I didn't
get
say
into.
I didn't say that. I guess I should rephrase it. I didn't mean to say that they shouldn't experiment with new stuff at all, right? Like obviously, like there's a lot of major experiments that have gone really well, like quad stream. We can talk about that another time. Or, you know, all best of 5, right, is now becoming more of a thing, right? Collision's doing it as well. So that are really healthy changes at the major level that maybe don't work at the local level. Like best of 5 at all best of 5 at locals is not good. But
it's good if there's a lower amount of entrants. It just
or
doesn't work past like 20.
or if it's
And also, if you run multiple games, it's really
also the
hard.
talent disparity being a lot greater, right? Like among people who are playing each other, it just makes for more unfun games to play and watch for a lot of people. Is the sentiment I've heard.
Which is why you don't stream on Friday. No, I'm kidding.
I think also you just don't run main bracket on Friday, which is the biggest issue I had with
Yes,
Apex.
yes.
You're running it during side events, which is like putting people in multiple brackets, having matches called at the same time, but you're then also putting the onus on people to get an extra day off work, where like a lot of players who are top players who also have a job will show up to majors on Saturday for singles.
Exactly.
That's my biggest gripe with Gamer Majors, that he always runs singles on Friday, and I don't understand why.
Because he wants
Well,
it to
well,
work.
maybe we'll get Gimmer on as a guest next week.
One day.
Let's
One day we'll
Let's
get
look at
Gimmer
some
on.
other topics that I randomly wrote down. Ganon versus DK. You can interpret that.
DK.
Oh my
DK.
God.
DKBK, baby.
Okay. I'll explain to you guys at another date what that means. You guys chose wrong, by the way.
It's-
Uh-oh.
Ganon wins
We're
the
over
matchup.
time. Does anyone else have anything else to say?
Go
about
and
Mash
watch
Harder?
Mash Harder on the
Um,
Collision Series TV stream on the Twitch page. Collision
Link
Smash
will be in the
YouTube.
description.
Yes. You should go watch Mash Harder. You
Yes.
should also do it on a dual stream with Xanadu Homecoming and support the homies.
You should not do that. You should only be focused on me.
Yes,
'cause I'm
I
important.
And
agree.
then on the off chance I am not here next week, I should be here for clarification. But on the off chance that I am not able to, because if there's really bad traffic, I may have to leave earlier. I am driving down to West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country roads, to cast a top 8 of a regional called Almost Heaven 4. That is also a qualifier for Peebnut's Cacophonous Clash, which is, you know, the next in Peeb's.
Who?
Peebnut. He's
Who?
a top Mega Man player and
Who?
TO.
Who? Who?
Who?
Who?
We only know New England players.
Okay.
Exactly.
Peeb is a top player. Anyways.
I know. I had him in his. I had him in my pool for LMBM.
I know. Anyways.
Did you?
I know. I'm just playing along with it. I can be funny, I swear. Look at me. I'm wearing these glasses.
So yeah,
That's for the
check
bit.
us out. Check all 3 of us out at Mash Harder 5 this weekend because that's gonna be real fun. It's gonna be real
Check
good.
me out at Almost
Um,
Heaven next weekend, too.
Does anyone else have anything else to say before I hit the stop recording button?
I have one last thing to say. Because, of course, I do.
Okay.
You should follow Syndicate Snivy on Twitter, the Waffle Man SR on Twitter, Gerd
Oh my
Any on
God.
Twitter, and Casters on the Block on
I
Twitter.
hate that. I cut you off. The recording's over.
Did you out? Fuck off, dude.